The president adding to the push
My island of paradise is gone.
toward recovery after Ian. Court is back in session,
There are disparities in society.
this time with a justice from South Florida. And NBA basketball returns to the FTX Arena for the start of Heat preseason.
Showing y'all what the grit and grind is really
These
about.
stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Samantha Gutierrez.
And I'm Julian Davis. Today is Wednesday, October 5th, 2022.
Live from the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
Flight to Florida. The Bidens will be boarding Air Force One in the next hour to begin their tour of hurricane damage in the Fort Myers area. In the wake of Ian, residents across Southwest Florida tried to pick up the pieces, and just like he did in Puerto Rico, the president wants to see it firsthand.
1 week after the Category 4 storm, some residents are getting access back to their homes on the coast, while some may not return to anything, especially Sanibel Island, one of the communities hardest hit by Ian.
It's going to hit home. It's going to be emotional when they see their properties up close and the amount of damage that this storm inflicted upon them.
And later today, President Biden will be at Fort Myers serving the damage done and briefed by federal, state, and local officials, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Meanwhile, back in D.C., the U.S. Supreme Court justices beginning their new term this week. They have a new justice on the bench, Miami's Ketanji Brown Jackson, and major cases on the docket. Reporter Lydia Delgado from our D.C. bureau is in Washington this morning.
The conservative majority, with 4 women justices, including Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first black woman to serve on the court, will decide on cases with major implications for education, voting rights, and LGBTQ+ rights. One of the most closely watched cases, scheduled for October 31st, will be challenges to affirmative action brought by a conservative group, Students for Fair Admissions. They're arguing against the consideration of race in admission decisions at Harvard University and the University of North Carolina, which could cause a ripple effect across colleges and universities in the country.
I'm pretty aware, not only from the Latin American perspective, but also as an Hispanic immigrant to the United States, the disadvantages that we have. We have a sector of the population that have been discriminated against for so long. It is our social responsibility to advocate for them and to give equal opportunities.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has made his stance on education clear. His Stop Woke Act, which sets limits on how race-related issues in schools and in the workplace are taught, regards affirmative action as an inappropriate means to readdress historical discrimination.
Talking about them as not only just limiting on freedom of speech, but also our capability to learn and understand society as it truly is, instead of sugarcoating it. I am 100% for affirmative action. I think that the main reason it even exists is because there are disparities in society.
As of right now, the court is set to hear 36 arguments and is open to the public for the first time since 2020. The next issue to tackle will be LGBTQ+ rights. There has been work done in Florida by the Ron DeSantis legislation to eliminate LGBTQ+ protection from K-12 education. I'm Lydia Delgado in Washington, D.C. for the South Florida Media Network.
New rules are in place this morning for airlines and travel sites about President Biden's call unnecessary fees. The D.C. Bureau reporter Nicole Castañeda tells us the president announced the changes and effort for the industry to be more transparent with its customers.
This is a proposal rule for airlines to disclose upfront canceling or changing flights and check bags. Biden argues that this will only increase competition between carriers.
They cancel on you, and you have to pay a fee to rebook. Come on, man.
Biden's comments came during a meeting of the White House Competition Council.
No more hiding the price that you're paying.
As many passengers have manifested, cancellations happen frequently. There are many hidden fees, and flight change costs have become impossible to afford, sometimes even making it better to buy a new ticket.
And they always overcharge you for stuff that they shouldn't charge. And besides, the service the quality of the service is very low right now compared to many years ago.
There's a better than 50% odd that there's some kind of delay going to affect me almost on a weekly basis.
Airlines for America, a trade group representing major U.S. carriers, issued a statement saying, A4A member passenger airlines already offer transparency to consumers from first search to touchdown. Biden also said the group is looking to lower or eliminate bank overdraft fees and cell phone carrier termination fees.
Something that's weighing down family budgets. Unnecessary hidden fees.
More than 3,700 flights were canceled, mostly in Florida due to Hurricane Ian. Major airlines are letting passengers rebook their flights without any fees. From Washington, D.C., reporting for the South Florida Media Network, Nicole Castañeda.
A department in mourning today after a young sheriff deputy in Florida lost his life early, getting accidentally shot by one of his other deputies. 21-year-old Blaine Lane and 3 other sheriff deputies were visiting a home in Winter Haven to serve a felony warrant. There, they found a woman who pointed a gun at them and started firing. 2 deputies fired back, shooting Deputy Lane. He was just sworn in as a patrol duty officer around 8 months ago and is married with a 3-year-old daughter.
This morning, Mexican telenovela actor Pablo Lyle has been found guilty for manslaughter by a Miami jury. Back in 2019, Lyle had made a traffic incident where he punched 63-year-old Juan Ricardo Hernandez in a road rage outburst. The blow knocked Hernandez unconscious, and he died 4 days later in the hospital. The actor could spend up to 15 years in prison.
As we enter flu season, doctors are bracing themselves for COVID complications. As the network's Catherine Miranda reports, they're encouraging people to get both vaccinations together.
It's that time of year when viruses tend to ramp up.
It's definitely vaccine season right now.
The 2 most recommended to get before fall gets in full swing: an updated COVID-19 booster and a flu shot.
This year it's going to be even more important to do both.
That's because the flu season is expected to be more severe this year. Coupled with COVID-19, that could mean crowded hospitals. Dr. Barbara Bauer with the Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center says you can make the process of getting all those shots easier by stacking vaccines.
Really, there's no data to show that if you get them all on the same day, that's going to make you feel worse, or, it's going to cause you more side effects because you got 2 or 3 shots instead of just 1.
Bauer says to also take time to rest. Don't be afraid to give yourself a little break after getting fall vaccines, and have over-the-counter pain medication on hand that can help relieve any discomfort. Finally, start early so your body has time to build up a defense to the viruses.
Go ahead and get them, between now and absolutely, I would say no later than the first week of November.
Reporting for the South Florida Media Network, I'm Catherine Miranda.
Today, the Miami Marlins looking to end their season in a win after playing the Atlanta Braves here at home. The Marlins kept the Braves in, allowing only 2 runs, but the batting side, the Marlins could only score 1. The final score was Braves 2, Marlins 1. With the win, Atlanta clinches first place in National League East. The Marlins play their final game of the season today at 4:10 p.m.
The Miami Heat started their preseason against the Minnesota Timberwolves at the FTX Arena in a game of high hopes and higher expectations. The network's Kenneth Bueno gave us a first look at the anticipation ahead of the franchise's 35th year of NBA basketball.
Excitement filled the FTX Arena as fans lined up for the first of 5 games ahead of opening day, with many questions surrounding how the team's core will perform and how coach Eric Spoelstra will lead the lineup.
We're from Colombia, so NBA is awesome for us, yes? Okay. So it's our first game in the NBA, so let's go.
We're expecting, to be honest, a lot of energy. Yeah, we are so excited.
For me, I'm very excited to get it going with, the real Heat squad, showing y'all what the grit and grind is really about. Memphis Grizzlies, y'all all right, but you're never going to be the Heat. So what I'm trying to tell y'all right now is we're going to get the dub. We're going to set a standard. It could be from the 15th man to the first, and we're always going to give you the same energy.
No, I don't have any high expectations because the whole East re-amped. So for me, it's like the last 3 years we've been in the mix truly, with the exception of our playoff stint against the Bucks. But this team right here will make it very deep in the playoffs against any opponent, because we have Eric Spoelstra at the wheel. Just know that.
The Heat come off of an Eastern Conference Finals appearance 1 season ago right here at this very arena, where they fell to the Boston Celtics in Game 7, and many hope that the Heat can make a redemption tour and run it back to get a 4th franchise championship. Reporting from the FTX Arena, Kenneth Bueno of the South Florida Media Network.
A neighborhood Grinch steals not Christmas, but Halloween.
That's still ahead, and so is his story.
They say that their dog has bad breath, but they don't realize that by leaving that unchecked, they're swallowing infection.
Pet parents in South Florida focusing on the needs of their furry best friends. We'll be back in just 2 minutes.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music.
Yeah.
Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
I help our fellows design their paths as creative entrepreneurs. My experiences serving startups, creative businesses, and cultural organizations, and my journey as a queer mixed immigrant with Haitian and Arabic roots, inform the co-creative environment we foster at Radcliffe. We leverage our collective diversity to encourage the building of lifelong personal learning networks and mindsets that stimulate continuous innovation.
Countdown. Countdown. South Florida turning their attention to the wellness of their best friends. October is National Pet Wellness Month.
And as NABR's Christy Hernandez reports, there are simple things you can do to help pets live longer.
When you adopt or buy a pet, these furry companions become a part of your family, and you want them to live a long and healthy life. October is National Pet Wellness Month. It's a campaign to help promote the importance of pet health and wellness all year long. Dogs and cats age 5 to 7 times faster than people, meaning an annual visit to the veterinarian is like us seeing a doctor every 5 to 7 years. Experts say dogs and cats younger than 5 should have a wellness exam at least once a year, and those over the age of 5 at least twice a year. A vet tech at Kendall Animal Medical Center, located in the Shops of Kendall Shopping Center off of 127th and 88th Street, clears up a common misconception that many pet owners make.
They say that their dog has bad breath, but they don't realize that by leaving that unchecked, they're swallowing infection. So it actually causes kidney disease, it can cause heart failure early on. So you have a 7-year-old dog with heart disease, like if he was a 15-year-old dog. The leading cause is actually dental disease. So if they actually get their checkups every year, we can catch the dental disease before it gets too bad and schedule dental cleanings, as well as explain how at home you can brush the teeth, what food you can do to avoid this, and things like that.
So let this serve as a reminder to make sure your pet is up to date on all their checkups and vaccinations. This is Christy Hernandez reporting for the South Florida Media Network.
Things just got stranger. A neighborhood is no longer under Vecna's curse after a neighbor voiced their complaint about the viral Stranger Things front yard display. We told you last week about the display near Chicago. After the display blew up on social media, a neighbor feared it would bring negative attention and danger to the community. It will remain shut down until further notice.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Julian Davis.
I'm Samantha Gutierrez. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.